In this video, we're going to talk about drawing more natural and realistic looking mouths. Often in portraits, we're focused mainly on the lips, so that is what I'm going to talk about. Depending on the person you are drawing, the lips are going to look a little bit different. Some people have wider mouths, some people have thicker lips or thinner lips. If the person is wearing makeup, smiling, laughing, or talking, all of these things will affect how the lips look in your portrait. I'm going to use this picture as my reference because the expression and look of the lips are the most natural. First, let's talk about a few different ways to draw the lips. If you've blocked in your guidelines for drawing a portrait, you probably have a line where the mouth is going to go. Your lips will fall on the center of this line. That means that the upper lip will be drawn above it. A simple way to block in an upper lip is to draw a stretched out letter M. This will help get you the general lines of a lip. You can draw this further away for wider lips or closer to the line to make the lips look more narrow. Then extend the lines down to your center. You can curve the peaks of the M to make it look more natural. I like to find the center of the bottom lip and then curve these lines up to the corner. In general, your lips will end at about the center of your eyes. Another method you can use to draw lips is to use 3 circles. The 2 smaller circles on top will help you block in the shape of the upper lip. And similar to the first method, you can draw lines coming down from those to make the top lip. Then, from those corners or from the bottom point, curve lines up to the corner to make the bottom lip. You'll erase the circles and then draw in a center line for the lips. No matter which method you use, you can create mouths and lips in any expression. Just make sure to curve your lines to the shape of the mouth you are drawing. These methods even work when drawing an open mouth. Leave a gap where you want the opening and then draw the bottom lip in around it. You can then add in teeth or the tongue, however you want to make it look, depending on the expression you're drawing. To begin, I'm going to draw a center line for the lips that match his expression. It's pretty even, but the edge curves up just a little bit, so I'm going to try to match that with the image. Now I'm going to go in and draw the upper lip. You can see that the left side of the lip is a little bit larger than the right, so the 2 circles I draw are going to be different sizes. I'm then going to connect them in the center and curve them down towards the center of the lips. I'm looking back and forth between the image and my drawing when I'm doing this to try and match the shape as best as possible. For his lower lip, it's a bit wider, so I'm going to find the center and then bring my lines down to that point. I'm going to erase the extra lines I no longer need and define that center line before moving on to shading. My most important tip when drawing more realistic or natural looking features is to rely more on shading than you do on lines. I like to use a blending stump to smooth out what I've done and then go in and add in shading based off of what I'm looking at. The bottom lip is defined more by shadows and a line of highlights than it is by an actual line. I'm going to go in and add some shading and then take my eraser to recreate the highlight. The upper lip is also defined by that highlight, so I'm going to leave a little bit of space and then add shading where the man's mustache would be. Later on, you could add in details such as creases and facial hair, but right now I'm going to focus on the lips. When looking at the upper lip, you can see that it is a darker value. So I'm going to shade in the whole top lip. I'm going to use my blending stump to smooth out my shading so that I can add further details on top. If you look closely, you will see that lips have wrinkles or creases on them. These can be shown by using small, curved lines along the edges of the lips. The area where the two lips meet is the darkest part of the mouth, so I'm going in and really defining that line. Looking at my image, I see that the bottom lip is darker towards the corners and gets a little bit lighter in the center. So I'm going to add in more shading and then use my eraser to put back in the highlights. I like to blend out the highlights so they're a little bit softer, and then I'm going to add in the creases to match the image I'm looking at. I'm going to blend out the creases as well so that they fit in with the rest of my drawing. While these lips aren't perfect, they do look a lot more natural than if I would have just drawn an outline and colored it in. Continue to practice drawing your lips using values instead of just lines, and you'll start to see an improvement in your skills. Drawing the areas around the lips will also help because they are so important to getting the shape right. Focus on shading and texture when you're drawing your lips to get a more realistic look. I recommend getting many different pictures of people with different shapes and sizes of lips and different facial expressions and practice drawing those. The more you draw, the better you will get, and the more familiar you will get with drawing these features. Drawing takes practice, but anyone can improve and draw awesome portraits. Thank you for watching, and happy creating!